If you guys enjoyed Boojans and Teller Knights and Set 5 back row helmet decks, then Altergeist just might be the deck for you. I mean, it is fun in the aspect of you don't get your opponent, allow your opponent to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but the amount of traps that you play in this deck and how it works is just ridiculous. It is easily, I really want to say, even right now, it's a tier 1 deck with the new Altergeist Multifaker, and I'll be your Alter guide to show you guys how good this deck is. You guys like that? I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, you can hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Also, I have to give a shout out to my Patreons. Videos like this would not be without you. You guys are the backbone to TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to go ahead and join, go ahead and click on that just link in the description down below. I have so many awesome rewards. I appreciate every single one of you guys. So without further ado, I present to you an Altergeist deck profile for the competitive format. I can't really say the next competitive format, even though it will be competitive, but it's competitive right now. But let's just get into the video. Okay, so starting off with the stats of this deck is really good at one thing. It's disruption. Being able to disrupt your opponent and provide so much field presence just off of disrupting your opponent. I mean, the main card allows you to special summon more monsters from your deck just for disrupting this opponent. I really think that this deck is a tier 1 deck. It is a competitor, and if not right now, definitely after the Forbidden List. I have a strong feeling Konami is aiming for decks like this to be competitive. It is the new age Satelllar Knight. So opening up with the monsters, we're gonna run 3 copies of Altergeist Multifaker. This card is the most important card of the deck. This is what makes the deck competitive. When a trap card is activated except during the damage step, you can special summon this card to your side of the field and then special summon another Altergeist monster from your deck to your side of the field. Being able to tutor monsters from your deck to your side of the field is just phenomenal, especially since all of your Altergeist monsters have very important pieces that you need to fit. Next is 3 copies of Altergeist Marrionetter. This card is also a boss card. These 2 cards work really well in tandem. They're Bonnie and Clyde. When this card is normal summoned, you get to set an Altergeist trap card directly from your deck to your side of the field, and that just sets up your Multifaker play. But furthermore, you can send that Altergeist card you control to the graveyard to special summon an Altergeist monster to your side of the field. So these guys set up each other very well. They complement each other just extraordinarily well. Next, we run 3 copies of, I apologize if I butchered his name wrong, 3 copies of Altergeist Silquotis. This card's really good as well. The ability to bounce a card, it's basically a Magic Spectre Kirin. You can target an Altergeist monster you control and an Altergeist, or a card your opponent controls, and bounce them both. The best thing about it is that you special summon a Multifaker, and then Silquotis bounces a Multifaker to your hand, and you get to bounce an opponent's card, and now you have Multifaker to use on your opponent for another turn, or even during your turn if you have live traps that way. It's just really good. And when it's into the graveyard, you can add an Altergeist trap card from your graveyard to your hand. So all these cards work so well in tandem with each other. Next is 3 copies of Altergeist Muleseek. I hope I said that card's name correctly. What this card does, you don't really get its effect off too much because it requires you to do some pretty crazy stuff, but when you do, it's a pretty good effect. It can attack your opponent directly, and when it does that, you can send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard, but its main role is if it's sent to the graveyard, you can have one Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand. The fact that it is a level 1 is awesome. I don't even want to tell you how great the fact that it's a level 1 is, because it allows us to get it instantly off the field to get a free search. The last Altergeist card we play is 1 copy of Altergeist Konquery. I felt that this card is pretty powerful in this deck because the strongest monster in our deck is 1600 attack, and Multifaker, Silquotis, and Muleseek, sometimes we need to stay on the field. So when our opponent declares an attack on it, you special summon the Konquery to our side of the field and you can negate the attack. But even more importantly, it can negate a face-up card on the field. So sometimes you can use Altergeist Multifaker to bring him out if you want to negate a specific card on the field for the rest of the turn. I think it's a very solid one of. So that's it for the Altergeist monsters. We do play some hand traps. 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I am providing budget options for you guys, but I'm not going to provide a budget option for Ghost Ogre, and the reason being is that it comes ultimate, ultra, secret, super, and I'm pretty sure it's going to come common one day. The supers being like, I think 10 to 14 bucks. It's a fairly cheap card, and it's one of the best cards in the game. I feel like you guys should get this card if you don't have it. 2 copies of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Now this is an extremely powerful card because this deck isn't reliant on as much extra deck space as normal or Link decks are. So being able to Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherry your opponent's important cards is just really good. I like being able to use it more than once in the game. Sometimes I'll hit their, their main card like Electromite. Then the second time around, I'll hit their Borreload and stuff like that. And I don't see myself using it 3 times in one game, but I have used it twice in one game before, so it's a pretty good card. So that's it for the hand traps. For the spells, we actually only run 4. 3 copies of Pot of Duality and 1 Raigeki. That's it. This deck is predicated on going first. I want to go first so freaking bad. But if I have to go second, I have 5 hand traps, a Raigeki, and then 3 other cards that are trap cards that can be activated from my hand that can secure me to allow me to still play through a first turn board. And that's why I play Raigeki. Pot of Duality is just really simple. I like to get into cards. This deck doesn't special summon too much. I opted against Pot of Desires in this particular build because banishing 2 of almost any card in this deck, like any Altergeist monster, can really hurt you in the long run. And this is a deck that wants to slow grind. It wants to grind its way into a victory. So especially in the mirror match, if you banish 2 of a card, it becomes really, really bad. So I'm not gonna run Desires in that just for that reason. Next for the traps, 3 copies of Altergeist Manifestation. This card is nasty good. Basically, it's a call it on it for Altergeist. You special summon an Altergeist monster to your side of the field, equip it to this card. When it's destroyed, vice versa, it's destroyed, blah, blah, blah. But when it's in the graveyard, you can banish the Altergeist trap card from your graveyard to your hand. Really good at Altergeist Recursion, so I should always have a trap card ready for me in this deck through the Recursion of Silquotis and Manifestation. Next is 3 copies of Altergeist Protocol. This is one of the better cards that are Altergeist trap cards. What it does is the activation of your Altergeist cards cannot be negated by your opponent. That's just really good. You just can't stop me now. The next thing is that my opponent activates a monster effect. I can send one other face-up Altergeist card I control to the graveyard to negate the activation. Now, I love that it says Altergeist card, so I can send Manifestations to the graveyard. I can send the other Altergeist trap card I'm going to show you to the graveyard, and literally, it's just that good. The next is Altergeist Muleseek. I'm sorry, guys. Basically, my Altergeist cards cannot be destroyed by card effects. So I have a way to prevent them from being negated, and I have a way to prevent them from being destroyed by card effects. That's just insane. This card also special summons itself as a monster and gives me the ability to link or to tribute off with other card effects. So it's an extremely good card. I love it. If you open it up, you basically have a free monster, and it helps you tutor into those link plays. Sometimes you draw like a Muleseek in this card. You can defend yourself for a little while and then summon this card. Use that in the Muleseek to make a link play, and then Muleseek activates to get you a search. Next, 3 copies of Infinite Transience. Basically, what this card does, it's just nutty. It's nutty good. The fact that you can activate this card from your hand is just like, it's almost mandatory in this deck, because if you can activate this card in your hand, your opponent's first turn, you can summon Multifaker from your hand on your first turn, and then you can summon another monster, and then you can disrupt your opponent on their first turn. But if you guys can't afford Infinite Transience, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike, and Solemn Warning, those can fill in for those Infinite Transience plays. And then next is 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card's nasty good because you only play 4 spell cards, and a lot of decks, especially Pendulum, play a lot of spell cards, and seeing that Pendulum is Pendulum, they gotta set those spell cards. So this is gonna really hamper their strategies, and more importantly, it's gonna hamper any spell-based deck, as well as allow you to trigger off your Altergeist Multitasker's effects. 2 copies of Solemn Strike. I didn't think that I needed more than 2 copies. Just really good disruption, and then 1 copy of Imperial Order for the same reason why I run Anti-Spell Fragrance. I only run 3 or 4 spells, and I really don't care if I have to dead them in my hand to win the game. So that's it for the main board at 40 cards exactly. I think it's like 18 traps in this thing. That's just crazy. For the extra deck, 2 copies of Link Forma. Now you guys are probably like, what? Why? Altergeist Muleseek is a level 1 monster. So hypothetically, if you draw this on a whole bunch of traps, you summon the Muleseek, you link it off for Link Forma, it searches the Multifaker, and now you have a Link Forma to protect your Multifaker, and you also have trap cards to summon your Multifaker to your side of the field. So I run the 3 for the 2, and I have the extra deck space, so why not? 1 copy of Prime Banshee. I haven't really summoned this card. You could probably take it out, but it just seems so good in theory. Like in theory, it seems like an extremely good card. During your main phase, then it's a quick effect. You contribute one Altergeist monster, special summon one Altergeist monster from your deck to your side of the field. It's just like, it's just really good, and then it replaces itself when it goes to the graveyard. 2 copies of Altergeist Hextia. This card is the main card that you're going to go to. This is going to be the only card other than Link Forma you're going to go to. Basically, it gains attack for every card that it's pointing to. Actually, let me read it off for you guys. Gain attack equal to the original attack of Altergeist monsters this card points to. When a spell and trap card is activated, you contribute one Altergeist monster. This card points to negate the activation if you do destroy this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Altergeist card from your deck to your hand. So, just letting you, this card is like really powerful. This card also makes the Altergeist strategy really good. The new card that we got from the Flames of Destruction is Altergeist Kidogla, and it says when you're another Altergeist monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one monster in your graveyard, special summon it to this card points to, but each turn it cannot attack unless this card is already attacked. This card is destroyed by battle. You can add one Altergeist card from your deck to your hand. This card isn't as important as Hextia, but it's still a pretty decent card. I decided to run it in there. I've summoned it maybe a couple times. It's not awesome. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Goblin, 1 Nightmare Mermaid, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Griffin, 1 Nightmare Cerebus. You're not going to really summon these guys. I'm not even going to be honest. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. But they are Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries targets. So there's that. It's just really good at disrupting your opponents. An Electromite, Borreload, and Saryuja. You're not going to summon these cards, especially like the Electromite. You're not going to summon these cards often either. You're really just going to make the Hextia and the Link Forma. So really play whatever you guys want. Play whatever your local level is. If you see your opponents playing all these cards, then just play those cards for your Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries targets. So that's it for the extra deck. The sideboard I'm still working on. I'm going to show you guys what I have right now, but I'm still really working on it. So 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Unfortunately, I don't have a budget option for Ash Blossom right now. You guys can run Drolling Locks if you have those. I did have a budget option for the evenly matches that I do play, but not for Ash Blossoms right now. I'm not even sure if I want to play them. They don't seem that great anymore. 3 copies of Typhoon. This card also can be triggered, or can trigger Multifaker on my opponent's first turn, and it's back row disruption. 3 copies of Evenly Matched. This card is nasty good and Altergeist, because if you're going second, if you have the Multifaker, you can legitimately, or if you have Muleseek, you can literally summon the Muleseek, make the Link Forma. Oh no, you can't. Well, you can, but you can't. No, you can't. But you can literally, if you have the old Multifaker, you go to your battle phase, you activate Evenly Matched, you special summon the Multifaker, Multifaker special summon another monster, and then you go and do your thing from there. So it's really good. I thought you could do it with the Link Forma. I was like, no, you have a monster on the field. Next is 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier, really good against Pendulum. It's also a great trap card. 1 copy of Heavy Storm Duster. This is a card that I don't really know if I want to play, and I'm not really scared of Jinzo because I have like Silquotis. I'm not really just scared of Decree because I have, the Nightmare Phoenix that can destroy spell or trap cards. So I'm not really scared of either of those. I'm really scared of Heavy Back Row, so Heavy Storm Duster. And then a lot of people are probably going to be playing Red Reboot against you, and that card's probably going to be a pain in the ass, seriously. So I have a counter strategy for Red Reboot, and it's Wiretap. Now, I have seen players play Red Reboot in counter of Red Reboot, and it doesn't seem like a solid plan to me, and let me tell you guys why. Red Reboot sets the Red Reboot back to their field, and then they get to set another trap card to the side of the field. Now, if you're going in the mirror match and you're stopping their Red Reboot to set their Red Reboot, and then give them another trap card, I'm just not liking that, because in the long run, if you can't finish them off right there, you're gonna be in a huge disadvantage. Wiretap puts the Red Reboot back into their deck, so no more Red Reboot for you, and hopefully by the time they draw it, it's a hard draw, and it's not really helpful for them. I do like Red Reboot, but I'm not really a fan of it in this deck right now, and I'm still not 100% done with the side deck. But for the people that want a budget option for Evenly Matched, Rival of the Warlords is really good because all your monsters are spellcasters, so that's just pretty solid right there. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Let's see if this video can get to 150 likes as well. We're kind of postponing on the gameplay because we're like playing catch and play with we're playing cat and mouse with the Forbidden List. But if it doesn't come out later on today or whatever, I'll see what we can do. But thank you guys again so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have an awesome day like I am.